Okay, so that's on my hand planing and sanding done. The hand planing and the sanding probably took me about 15 minutes, maybe. It really doesn't take a huge amount of time. This is only softwood, sharp hand plane. Don't know where all the mess is now. Met all the mess in there, little shavings. It really doesn't take long at all. It's very quick work to do. So what I've also done, just as a little added detail, I've put in the detail work, just a little V groove at the bottom between the rail and stars, just like there was on the original at the top. Didn't have to. I used 1/2 inch chisel, then I went in with a small carving chisel, V-shaped one, and then just to sort the resin, I've got a block with some 60 grit sandpaper on there just to work it in there, just to try and make it a little bit more featured rather than just plain across the front there. You can see there's a good definite transition between resin and wood. All my wood is now flush and sized. There's no kind of overspill, anything like that, and the sanding is consistent, so that resin will take paint nicely now. Still not quite there. I'm going to mix some surface finish quick drying filler for these bits and also these bits. So just where I cut the parting bead prior to taking these out. In terms of sanding, again, I know I'm going to get asked. I just use a kind of quarter sheet random orbit finish sander. This just happens to be the Festool RTS 400. Doesn't have to be. I also use a Delta sander. In this case, it's the Hikoki kind of multi-tool. I also use the Multi-Master, the fine machine, but I'm using a slightly bigger 93mm Delta pad on there, and I use the Festool paper for that, purely because I use the Festool paper for my palm sander. I get these from the same place as well. 40 grit. I don't mess around. I don't fanny about ages. 40 grit, get in there. It works great on the resin, sometimes even 36 grit. It doesn't clog the paper. It's quick removal, and then once I've got it in that, then I can go down 60, 80, 120 if I want to, whatever needs to happen. So when I trim these off, I've got a straight edge. I just measure where I want the line to be from the bottom of the glass bar, square it off, and then I just set a backstop. In this case it was 130mm there and there. I put my thing, and I just chuck the circular saw on there, trim it off, and I've done that on both of those. I literally could have shuttered the whole lot inside outside and just resined the whole lot in one go. Absolutely could have done that. That is a more expensive option because obviously using the resin, and kind of 40 quid a pair for, it's like 10 quid 100mm. That's what, 100 quid a litre. Wow, that's expensive. But for the resin you use a lot less because obviously the wood's cheap. Also, I like to do this because when the customer sees it go back in, it looks a bit nicer rebuilt, and also when it's painted, particularly when it's painted fresh like this, the extra timber keeps the kind of the finish, the textured finish, because paint on resin, paint on wood and paint on resin is not quite the same. So that's that. In terms of paint, because again I know I'm going to get asked, I use Zinza because it is interior and exterior, so I only need to use one. This has been open for a little while now. It's nearly a year old, but there's loads in there. As long as you store it well, it's absolutely fine. I've got a large sash brush. I think that's a sash brush. I'd probably decorators out there going mental, call it. No, it's not. It's something else. If anyone can tell me what these bits of string are for, I'd be really interested to know. I had another one, then it came off and it made no difference. So if you're a decorator and you know what these bits of string are for, do tell. I'm quite interested. And then I've got a little dinky sash brush. This one's brand new. As you can see, it's still got the plastic packaging on it. Purely because I think I was doing 2 of the downstairs windows at this property. I completely forgot, painted. I totally forgot about the brush, and I left it about 3 days, and I was like, oh no, I need to clean it, and then I forgot about it again. So I had to get some new ones, but they're like a couple of quid online. I think I got like 5 together on eBay, something like that. Sanders, check. Talked about that. I think that covers everything. Once I've done this, I'm going to just mix this stuff up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to mix it one-handed and show you. It might be a bit dodgy, but the important thing to remember when you're mixing the Repaircare is to get a consistency. How this, you get 2 colour mixes. You're looking for they call it a homogeneous colouring. You don't want the streaks of the 2 different colours. All the resins that are 2-part, this stuff stinks. It really does smell. It's quite foul, in fact. When you mix it, you don't want any streaks of colour at all, because one is hardener, one is resin, and if you haven't mixed them properly, it will never set. So when you, this is really difficult to do one-handed. I do apologise, people. I've got a new tripod and gimbal on the way, so it will get clearer. See, I've got white. See, I've got mixed on the knife as well. Just smush it on the edge of the board, get as much of it off with the knife, scoop it back up, and then back in the mix. I don't like to mix it all day long. I don't know if you can actually over mix this, but you see how that's more of a consistent colour. There's no like streaks of white in there or anything like that, so that's kind of ready to use. Also, when you've mixed it, don't bundle it up in a blob like that, because it will go off a lot faster. Smush it flat, keep it spread out, and it actually will set a lot slower, because it's a exothermic reaction. So the more together, the warmer it'll get, and the quicker it'll go off. So I'm going to do just to smush that in there. There we go, and some on there as well. Just cover that bit of knot in case that cracks. There we go, much better. And then this one as well. It's a bit more difficult because I've left it upright and you can't see. Oh, making a meal of that, Rick. There we go. There we go. I'll leave a bit of a film over the top and then sand that off after. And oh, we're just getting our thunderstorms. Can you hear that? So, yeah. That needs about an hour to go off. It's 22 degrees in here today on the thermometer. So it'll take about an hour to go off. Leave that, sand it, and I'll come back and paint it. Oh, I can talk about clearing up as well, can't I? Yeah, this is going to be quite tricky with the rain and everything else. Basically, when I'm going to do my clearing up, I'm going to get rid of all of this excess, of which there is much. Put that on there, smush that on the back of that. Bit back of a bit of sandpaper. I'm just going to put that to one side and let it set. And then I'm going to need some big wipes. Big wipes are in the box. Oh, it's properly raining now. Glad I brought the washing in. There we go. So just big white wipes, and it will clear off the clear to blane off, and then I'll do the same on the board. So I don't want any left on there for next time. because the bits will get in the next lot, and then when you try and drag it across, you'll be in the right state. So clean it all off. Again, with this stuff, it's a case of working tidy. So I'll give that a proper clean so I don't ruin it, and I'll catch up with you guys later.